Okay guys, so again, Bob Gaskin here, Black Dog Survival School. What we have, we're getting ready to build our fire, and what we have is we have the tinder bundle that JC made. There's a previous video for that. We have some of the fat wood that we've collected. We've got a previous video on that, and we've got our birch bark that we collected off of the paper birch tree. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, go ahead and watch those. What we've done here is we've split some wood using the SE6 and the K-bar. That's part of the reviews on both of those two knives. We had the class earlier where I showed you the proper way to use a ferro rod. Might want to watch the video on that. So what we're going to do now is all of the things that we learned in those different videos, we're going to bring right together. A couple things I want to say before we get into that. Always, 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 always do the best you can to protect the environment when you're out in the woods like this. If you're going to build a fire, build it in a fire pit. If fire pits aren't available, find a place where they've already had a fire before. Churn up the dirt a little bit, dig a little hole out, build your fire there. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to disturb the soil, especially if it's in a very rich soil in a rich environment. Try to find a place where there's already been a fire. If there's a fire pit available, use that. Let's not be a bunch of idiots out here in the woods destroying our environment. This environment has to last generations to come. So one of the things you're going to do, even though I've got a striker with this ferro rod, I like to use the Mora Light My Fire knife. We're going to just go ahead and keep our tinder bundle like this. We're going to take some of our birch, pull out a little bit of that. I want to save some of that for later. We don't have a lot of birch, paper birch where I'm at. You got to buy this stuff back home. So one of the things you want to do is go ahead and just rough that up a little bit, get some of these flakes up, get some of that powder going in the center of the bird's nest there. Oh, that's real good right there. Just process a little bit. Doesn't take a lot of processing, okay? So get that into the center of your bird's nest there. Now what we have is we have the wood that we processed, we have the fat wood, and we have our tinder kindling here. Of course, I've got it on some logs, keep it up off the ground. The ground's a little bit on the wet side. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy lit real quick. There we go. Get it down into the fire pit. Start putting our tinder on there. You want to get a little bit closer. Now some of the wood that we have is a little on the wet side, so I'm going to take some of this fat wood we've collected. I'm going to go ahead and get it laid across in there, get that caught. That'll burn for a while we're waiting on this wood to dry out and get going. We'll just save those for later. Remember guys, when you're in the woods doing this kind of stuff, two things you should always be thinking about, and two questions you should ask yourself at all times. Question number one is, how can I do this task more efficiently? Question number two is, how can I do this task more safely? So, or safer, I guess would be proper terminology. I'm not a grammar student. So now we're going to take our wood that we've split, get down to the dry part inside, start piling it on. Ooh, that's a hot fire right there. And get this fire going. Thanks, and we'll catch you on the next video.